If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.
But the writing part, I cannot begin to tell you guys, if you can't write, if you can't spell, if you can't use spell check, if you're not working every single day to become a better writer, this is not going to be a career for you. And I'm the biggest sort of advocate of that, because my whole career began in newspapers 25 years ago, writing. And that's a skill set I've taken with me the rest of my life. That I did radio for 15 years, so I don't write a whole lot, right? Nobody knew whether I could write or couldn't write. They just hear my voice, and they're in their car, and if I make sense and I engage them and they like me and I'm funny or whatever and I'm informed, they would listen to me. And that's how I got nationally syndicated. It wasn't based on my college degree, where I went to school, what my writing skills were. It was all based on, does he sound good on the radio? Does he know what he's talking about? Will people listen to him? And at the end of it, there's the commerce part where the sponsors come in. Can he help us sell beer, cheeseburgers, pizza, cars, whatever it is? Because at the backbone of all of this, there is a business, and the business is about moving products. So aside from everything else, if you can't help advertisers sell stuff, you won't work in this business either. At that point, it's a hobby. It's like having a band. You're in a band, you feel good about it, you play your music, nobody comes to the gigs, nobody buys the records. Guess what? You got to go get a real job. Then it's just a hobby. Then you're just doing it on the weekends. So I'm trying to take this thing from a level where you guys are so serious, you're sitting in a hot library all day, all week, trying to come to these experts and learn about this, to the point where you become folks that I would love to employ, love to try to make money together, and love to let you live your dream the way I've lived my dream the last 30 years of being able to do this. Because I'm a kid from Dundalk, didn't grow up with a whole lot. My dad was a steel worker. I had no pedigree for doing this other than writing skills and a love of sports, which I'm hoping that most of you come in here with. But I certainly didn't come out with an iPhone and a Droid and the ability to learn how to tweet, and learn how to tag, and learn how to category, and do all the stuff. How many of you write a blog right now? Good work. Use WordPress? What do you use? Anybody? Blogger? Okay. What do you guys use? WordPress, right on. I use WordPress too. So like you could sign up for my blog today, and if you blog on my site, I get 100,000 people every day that I touch. 100,000 people every day. So I've been lifting weights for 20 years, picking up your father as a listener, your mother as a Facebook friend, your next door neighbor as a Twitter follower, and I've got all those people together now. And when I bring people into my space, I'm showing your stuff off for 100,000 people. Same thing. Why do you want to work at ESPN? Well, because you'll be in every sports bar in everybody's living room. That's where ESPN goes, right? They have distribution. The difference in distribution now in a thing like WordPress is that the minute you hit send and upload, it's out in the world, right? It's there. It's on the net. Somebody's got to find it. The only way it gets found is to be promoted. And the only way it gets promoted is two things: money or sweat, right? How hard you work to promote it. Right now, you probably have a Facebook page. You write a blog, you put the headline up, and your X amount of friends on your Facebook page have access to read it. Some of them care, some of them don't. Some of them like the sports teams you like, some of them don't. Some of the girls in your class could care less about sports and would be much more interested in reading about Justin Bieber. So they are. So yeah, I mean, I know how it rolls, but I've been doing this a long time. So I just want to keep my speech short. I'm glad to take questions. I'm glad to work with you guys individually. I'm glad to give you my email address. I'm glad to give you our Twitter. And I'm good to stay up in touch. And, if you need something in the off-season or something, or have a helpful hint, throw me a note. But I promise you, I am as serious as a heart attack, as you can tell. I haven't seen a whole lot of laughing in here, because I am desperately looking for people who can do this. And not everybody can do this. As an example, I fired half my staff 2 years ago. Firing people, you think that's easy? Not fun. Not fun at all. People you like, especially. But when you can't make money and they can't do what they need to do, and you hired people to do radio, and then you said, start writing, and they can't write, and your sponsors see it, and 100,000 people come to it every day and say, dude, I didn't know that guy couldn't spell. Couldn't use spell check. Why would I read him if he can't spell? Why would I subscribe to him? Why would I follow him? So I let my competitors take all of those guys over 105.7, and I've decided to find young people. And that's where I am right now. So in my staff right now, my afternoon drive host is 27. My morning show producer is 28. My office manager is 24. My lead sales guy is 22. My second sales guy is 23. I like young people. Young people understand technology. Young people aren't afraid of technology. Young people don't come up here and wet themselves when we say 3, 2, 1, go. Talk sports. And, it's a very difficult job market right now, and this is a very, very, very difficult profession. I don't know whether your dads are doctors, lawyers, engineers, whatever they are. I assure you their job situation is better than if they were a sports media person. You're from Baltimore? How many people in Baltimore make money, earn a living, do this for a living in Baltimore? How many people? Do sports media for a living? How many?
You mean like radio?
I mean the whole marketplace, radio, TV, web, the whole thing. How many people do this every day and make money? No, about 40. 40 people. There are 2.1 million people who live in Baltimore. I'm one of 40 people who make a living doing this in Baltimore. Now, you talk about how hard it is to make the NBA, right? There's only 12 spots in the NBA team. How hard it is to make the NFL. How hard it is to make the Alabama football team, because there's only 100 of them. How hard it is. I mean, no offense, if your dad's a doctor, lawyer, great work, school teacher, whatever they do, there are hundreds and thousands of doctors and lawyers and school teachers and engineers and air conditioning people and librarians and gas station attendants and coffee makers and like all that, right? There's 40 in the city in the whole country, and I added this up because I did this as part of what I'm trying to do. And I'm talking about needle in a haystack, right? There are less than 10,000 people in the whole country who do this for a living. Less than 10,000 in the whole country. That's 300 million people. There are 10,000 people that do sports media for a living. So it's not just competitive. I would almost call it cutthroat. I would almost call it, it's only for the cream of the cream of the cream of the crop. And in the new era, as we talked about with Twitter and WordPress and all the blog engines, if you're not getting followed, you're irrelevant. If you have 212 followers in a world where your competitor has 212,000, you're irrelevant. For us, luckily, we've gone into the Twitter space. We just crossed 10,000 followers for my company on Sunday. So I was really proud of that. And we're still marching forward. We're at almost 10,100 now. But every day, we're picking up new customers, new community, more people to feed back, more people to talk. Hopefully, looks like there's about 40 of you in here today. Hopefully, I'll have 40 more Twitter followers. How many of you are on Twitter? We are WNST. I'm Nestor Aparicio. You guys can check us out, follow us. If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love what we do. We follow everything in real time. I always say that Twitter has become, you play-by-play, right? The play-by-play is the broadcast of the game. We're the blow-by-blow, right? So the play-by-play is happening. Last night I'm watching Jim Palmer. I'm watching, Chen get beaten around. He can't throw a strike. I have the ability to pull my phone out or my laptop out and say, I wish you'd throw a strike. Send, upload. 10,000 people get that. Somebody says, me too. Somebody says, he'll turn around. Somebody says he stinks, trade and get rid of him. Whatever it is. But that's the new sports conversation. It has very little to do with your television or your radio or a newspaper. It has everything to do with the mobile devices that you guys all seem to be recording me on at this point. So I'll take a break because I've done a lot of talking. I think we're about 25 minutes in. I'm happy to take some questions. Go for it.
How do you think the Baltimore Orioles have done this and made this run?
Well, I think 60 games is not 160 games.
Yeah.
So when you get good pitching for 60 games, and part of good pitching is it's not 105 degrees like it is today. Guys aren't going to be as tired out. The bullpen won't be as taxed. There are more off days because of rain games and stuff like that. And I think Buck Showalter's just done a phenomenal job. I mean, he's been outstanding, and everywhere he's gone, he's made teams better. That was a really tall task here because the owner's not all that interested in winning, but that's another story unto itself. Go for it.
If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.